Welcome to Fun Facts Daily, your source for just the good stuff. Monday through Friday, we're bringing fun facts and news you can use, all carefully curated to uplift and inform. So give yourself a break, relax, and learn something awesome in just a few minutes every day. Hi everyone, I'm Kyle Wood. Today we'll be learning all about running, but before we get into the facts, let's warm up our brains with a little challenge to tell truth from fiction. Consider this. During an Olympic marathon, one of the leading runners was discovered to have hitched a ride in a car for a significant portion of the race, about 11 miles. He even waved at spectators and fellow runners as he passed. After the car supposedly broke down, he hopped out and ran the rest of the way, winning the race. What do you think? Is this story of a brazen car-assisted marathon victory an actual fact, or just too good to be true? Take a moment to think about it. I'll reveal the truth at the end of this episode. Now for our word of the day. Today's word of the day is ultramarathon. An ultramarathon is any foot race longer than the traditional marathon distance of 26.2 miles or 42.195 kilometers. These races vary dramatically in distance, from just over 26.2 miles to 100 miles, and even multi-day events covering hundreds of miles. They often take place on trails, through mountains, or in other challenging environments. The term ultra comes from the Latin meaning beyond or further than, so ultramarathon literally means beyond a marathon. It perfectly captures the spirit of these incredible endurance events that push the limits of human stamina. Time for your daily high five, our top 5 fun facts about running. Number 1. Humans are the undisputed kings and queens of long-distance running in the animal kingdom. Believe it or not, while the cheetah can sprint much faster than us over short distances, humans can outrun almost any animal over a very long distance. This is due to a combination of factors unique to us, including our ability to sweat effectively to cool down. Most animals have to pant, which is less efficient and also interferes with their ability to run at high speeds for long. Our upright posture, which is more biomechanically efficient for long distances, and specialized features in our feet and legs, like the spring-like Achilles tendon and large gluteus maximus muscles. For instance, a human could theoretically outrun a horse in a marathon or longer race, especially in warmer conditions where our cooling advantage becomes even more significant. This incredible endurance capability is thought to have evolved millions of years ago to help our ancestors with persistence hunting. They could select an animal and then relentlessly jog after it, not necessarily at high speed, but steadily until the animal, unable to effectively cool itself, would collapse from heat exhaustion. This hunting method, still practiced by some indigenous groups like the Tarahumara people of Mexico and parts of the Kalahari Bushmen in Africa, highlights how deeply ingrained endurance running is in our human heritage. Number 2. The modern marathon distance of 26.2 miles has a surprisingly royal and somewhat arbitrary origin. The first organized marathon in the 1896 Athens Olympics was approximately 24.85 miles or 40 kilometers, roughly the distance from Marathon to Athens, Greece, based on the legend of Pheidippides, a Greek messenger. He supposedly ran this distance to announce a victory over the Persians and then collapsed. But the now standard 26.2 miles, or 42.195 kilometers, was set at the 1908 London Olympics, and the reason for that specific extra length is charmingly, or maybe infuriatingly, rooted in royal convenience. The race was originally planned to be 26 miles, starting at Windsor Castle and finishing at the Olympic Stadium. But the race organizers, wanting the best view for the royal family, decided to extend the course so the finish line would be directly in front of the royal box where Queen Alexandra and her family were seated. The extra 385 yards, or 0.21875 miles, became the official distance when the International Amateur Athletic Federation codified it in 1921. So every marathoner since then has had to run just a little bit extra, thanks to our British royalty. Number 3, running backwards is an actual sport with some surprising benefits. It might look a little silly, but retro running, as it's sometimes called, has a dedicated following and even world championships. Proponents say that running backwards can help improve your regular running by balancing opposing muscle groups. For example, it works your quadriceps more intensely than forward running while giving your hamstrings a bit of a break. It can also significantly reduce the impact on your knees and shins because you tend to land more on your forefoot with the shorter stride. While it's not something you'll likely do for your entire workout, incorporating short bursts of backwards running can be a fun way to mix up your training and potentially prevent injuries. It also forces you to be more aware of your surroundings and can improve your proprioception, your sense of body position. Some athletes also use it as a rehabilitation tool for certain injuries. Just make sure you do it in a safe, open area, clear of obstacles, or perhaps on a track where you can stay in a lane. Number 4, the fastest mile ever run was completed in an astonishing 3 minutes and 43.13 seconds. This incredible feat was achieved by Hichem El Garouche of Morocco on July 7, 1999 in Rome. To put that in perspective, that's an average speed of over 16 miles an hour, or about 25.7 kilometers an hour. This pace means he was covering 100 meters in roughly 13.8 seconds, and he maintained that for over 1,600 meters. The energy expenditure and power output required for such a performance are truly at the peak of human athletic capability. Breaking the 4-minute mile was once considered a near impossible barrier in human athletics, a feat first achieved by Roger Bannister in 1954 with a time of 3 minutes 59.4 seconds. Since then, elite runners have continued to chip away at the record, showcasing the remarkable potential of human speed and endurance through improved training, nutrition, and track technology. El Garouche's record has now stood for over 2 decades, a testament to his extraordinary talent and a mark that current middle-distance runners are still striving to beat. It's a legendary performance in the history of athletics. And our 5th and final fun fact for today, the world's oldest annual marathon is the Boston Marathon, first run in 1897. Inspired by the success of the marathon at the first modern Olympic Games in Athens in 1896, the Boston Athletic Association organized its first marathon the following year on Patriots' Day, making it a true pioneer in road racing. Only 15 runners started that first race, with 10 finishing. The winner was John J. McDermott with a time of 2 hours, 55 minutes, and 10 seconds. Compare that to today, where tens of thousands of people participate. Its long history is filled with iconic moments and traditions, such as the challenging Heartbreak Hill and the enthusiastic crowds at Scream Tunnel near Wellesley College. The Boston Marathon is also unique among marathons for its stringent qualifying times, meaning most participants have to achieve a certain performance standard in another marathon just to be eligible to run. This makes earning a spot and completing the race a significant achievement and a badge of honor for amateur and professional runners alike, contributing to its prestigious and almost mythical status in the running world. Now for some news you can use. Today's tip is about the 10% rule for increasing your running mileage. If you're looking to run further or more frequently without getting injured, a general guideline is to avoid increasing your weekly running distance by more than 10% compared to the previous week. This technique works because it allows your body, your muscles, tendons, ligaments, and bones to gradually adapt to the increased stress of running. Suddenly ramping up the mileage too quickly is a common cause of overuse injuries like shin splints, runner's knee, or Achilles tendonitis. By sticking to a modest increase, you give your body the time it needs to repair and strengthen itself between runs, making you a stronger, more resilient runner in the long term. Patience and consistency are key. Now for the moment you've been waiting for. Earlier, I asked if you thought it was true that an Olympic marathon runner hitched a ride in the car for about 11 miles before, quote, winning the race. Well, buckle up because this one is a true fact. The 1904 Olympic Marathon in St. Louis was a truly bizarre and grueling event run in scorching heat over dusty, unpaved roads with minimal water stations. For some reason, people had this idea that dehydrated runners would do better. Please, if you're running or doing any athletic events or just out in the heat, stay hydrated. Your body needs water. But Fred Lors, after completing about 9 miles in that 1904 Olympic marathon, reportedly suffered from cramps and decided to get a lift in a car. He rode for the next 11 miles, waving to the crowd. When the car supposedly broke down, he got out and ran the remaining distance to the finish line, where he was initially hailed as the winner. It wasn't until after he was about to receive his gold medal that officials discovered his vehicular detour. Lors claimed it was all a joke, but he was promptly banned for life by the Amateur Athletic Union. The ban was lifted a year later, though, so I guess not quite a lifetime. And he legitimately won the Boston Marathon in 1905. The actual winner of the 1904 Olympic Marathon was Thomas Hicks, who himself had a very rough race, being aided by strychnine and brandy, a common practice at that time, but not at all in this time because it's extremely dangerous. That 1904 Olympic Marathon in St. Louis is perhaps the greatest proof that sometimes truth is way stranger than fiction. Now, I hope you enjoyed learning about running with me, and be sure to tune in every weekday for even more fun facts. Fun Facts Daily is an Airwave Media podcast. It was written, recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Kyle Wood. Thanks for sharing a part of your day with me. Be sure to follow Fun Facts Daily on your favorite podcast app so you can keep the good stuff coming your way every day. And if you like the show, please do me a favor and leave a kind rating, review, or just tell your friends about it.